only in Las Vegas. It's not an unusual sight here, someone emerging from a manhole in the middle of a busy intersection.
Only in Vegas, dude.
What the?
This too is part of the reality of the famous city. Known globally for its dazzling casinos, bright neon lights, and non-stop nightlife, Las Vegas hides a darker side that most tourists never see. Behind the glittering facade of Sin City, there is a stark contrast. Thousands of people trapped in poverty, forced to live on the streets. According to the latest local government report, the number of homeless people in Las Vegas has reached nearly 8,000, a sharp 20% increase from the previous year. This sobering statistic reveals that while the city is often seen as a place where dreams are made or lost on casino floors, it's also home to many whose dreams have completely unraveled. Many of those living without shelter beneath the ever-glowing lights of Las Vegas are caught in a cycle of mental health struggles and substance abuse. Just a few blocks away from the opulence of the Strip, the harsh reality of life on the streets can be seen, far from the laughter and excitement inside the city's luxury hotels. This is the hidden side of homelessness in Las Vegas. Homelessness in Las Vegas is a growing crisis, shaped by a web of complex factors. In 2022, over 5,600 people were reported to be homeless in the city, with more than half lacking any permanent shelter. One of the primary drivers of this crisis is the high cost of housing, which has far outpaced the average income of many residents. For every 100 low-income renters in the city, there are only 14 affordable housing units available. This severe shortage forces many people to spend more than 30% of their income on rent, creating a significant financial strain that can quickly lead to homelessness. Mental health issues and addiction are also major contributors to homelessness. Many individuals living on the streets struggle with substance abuse and the lingering effects of childhood trauma, making it difficult to break free from their circumstances. Studies indicate that nearly 2/3 of the homeless population in Las Vegas became homeless due to unemployment, with this group generally facing lower risks of mental health and addiction problems. However, those who have lost their homes due to eviction or family conflicts tend to experience higher rates of both addiction and mental health disorders. The COVID-19 pandemic further exacerbated the homelessness crisis, with a notable increase in the number of people living without shelter. The end of eviction moratoriums, combined with the lack of affordable housing, left many families displaced and without options. While local authorities are making efforts to address the issue, the severe housing shortage continues to push more people into homelessness, highlighting the urgency of this growing problem. In the heart of downtown Las Vegas, near places like Catholic Charities, a growing number of homeless individuals gather daily, hoping for a spot in emergency shelters. But for many, that hope fades quickly as shelters fill up long before everyone gets a chance. Waiting outside for hours becomes a grueling and mentally exhausting routine, a reflection of just how precarious life on the streets can be. The harsh desert climate of Las Vegas only adds to the already difficult circumstances. During the summer months, temperatures regularly soar above 110 degrees Fahrenheit or 43 degrees Celsius, turning the streets into an unforgiving furnace. In the winter, the cold desert nights pose a different but equally dangerous threat to those sleeping outdoors. The extreme heat of the day and the biting cold at night create serious health and safety risks, leaving the homeless population constantly battling against the elements. Beyond the downtown streets, some of the homeless seek refuge in an unusual and perilous place, underground in the flood control tunnels beneath the city. These individuals, often referred to as the mole people, are those who have been marginalized by society: the homeless, drug addicts, and people looking to escape the dangers of life above. It's estimated that around 1,500 people live in these tunnels, which stretch for hundreds of miles under the neon glow of the city's casinos. Originally built to manage flash floods in the rare event of heavy rains, the tunnels remain mostly dry, creating an underground haven for those with nowhere else to go. For the mole people, life underground is a daily struggle for survival, filled with risks that those on the surface rarely consider. The most immediate danger is sudden flooding, which can sweep through the tunnels in a matter of minutes, drowning anyone who doesn't manage to escape in time. In addition to the risk of floods, the unsanitary conditions foster the spread of disease and infections, while violence remains a constant threat. Despite these dangers, many find living in the tunnels preferable to the surface streets, where they face frequent police raids and conflicts with other homeless individuals. Yet, even in the isolation of these tunnels, there is some contact with the outside world. Charitable organizations like Shine a Light make regular efforts to reach out to the tunnel residents, offering support and resources to help them escape the cycle of poverty and addiction. The mole people themselves often emerge from the tunnels at night, scavenging for food or supplies while doing their best to remain unnoticed by the bustling city above. For many, life underground offers a brief respite from the brutality of life on the streets, even though it comes with its own set of hazards and uncertainty. Homelessness is not just a physical struggle, but also a battle against the stigma and discrimination that follows those living on the streets. Negative public perceptions often compound their difficulties, pushing them further into the margins of society. Many people view the homeless as a burden or even a threat, without understanding the complex and often heartbreaking circumstances that force them into such a life. This harsh judgment makes it even harder for the homeless to access job opportunities or receive the basic respect and dignity that all people deserve. To survive, many homeless individuals are forced to find whatever means they can to make money. Some rely on panhandling, collecting recyclable materials, or other informal jobs. Yet, even in these meager efforts, they are often exploited by unscrupulous people who prey on their vulnerability. They become targets for violence, harassment, and exploitation, with some even falling victim to human trafficking. In this dangerous world, many are forced into illegal labor or suffer physical abuse, trapped by their desperate circumstances. Health issues are another overwhelming challenge for the homeless population. Take the story of Carl Graves, as shared by ReviewJournal.com. When Graves and his roommate could no longer afford their apartment in Las Vegas, the 44-year-old man felt the weight of his situation bearing down on him. Graves, suffering from bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and epilepsy, swallowed dozens of pills in a desperate attempt to manage his mental illness. He was rushed to the hospital and, after his recovery, found himself once again on the streets of Las Vegas. His story is all too common in this city, where the lack of stability exacerbates existing health issues. Living on the streets with no access to proper hygiene or nutrition makes the homeless more susceptible to chronic diseases such as tuberculosis, skin infections, and respiratory illnesses. Many also suffer from untreated mental health conditions like bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, which only worsen under the constant stress and trauma of street life. Without safe housing, regular meals, or adequate medical care, their physical and mental conditions deteriorate quickly, creating a vicious cycle that is nearly impossible to escape. Access to healthcare is extremely limited for the homeless. Most do not have health insurance or reliable transportation, forcing them to rely on emergency rooms as their primary source of medical care. While the expansion of Medicaid in Nevada in 2014 provided some relief, many homeless people still depend on emergency services for basic health needs. Local surveys reveal that 40.2% of homeless individuals rely on emergency rooms as their main access to healthcare. This dependence not only fails to provide the comprehensive care they need, but also places a heavy burden on the healthcare system and taxpayers, with the rising costs of emergency visits straining resources. This creates a cycle of health issues that are difficult to break, as limited preventive care leads to more severe and costly medical crises down the road. Homelessness in Las Vegas has a significant impact on the community and the city's infrastructure. The increasing number of homeless individuals triggers various social issues, such as crime, disorder, and a decline in the city's image. Public spaces are often filled with people in need of assistance, disrupting the comfort of both residents and tourists. Additionally, homelessness places a heavy burden on the healthcare system and emergency services, leading to high costs for the government and taxpayers. The Las Vegas government, along with various NGOs, is working to address homelessness through programs that improve access to healthcare, education, and job training. Programs like the Courtyard Homeless Resource Center offer integrated services, including temporary housing and medical assistance. Other shelters, such as Las Vegas Rescue Mission and the Shade Tree, also provide accommodation and recovery programs. However, challenges such as limited funding, shelter capacity, and access to transportation hinder the effectiveness of these initiatives. Social stigma and the lack of identification documents further complicate homeless individuals' ability to utilize available services, making homelessness a persistent issue in Las Vegas. The sight of tattered tents and faces full of despair serves as a reminder that not everyone in this city is playing with the same deck of cards. The contrast between the luxury and the despair highlights the growing social gap in the heart of this entertainment capital.